Okay, now let us derive the distance of any point from origin. So we will going to derive a formula for calculating the distance of any point from origin. Okay, so let us draw the coordinate plane, two coordinate axes. This is first axis, this is the second axis. Okay, and this is the origin. Now जैसा हमने कहा कि एक जनरलाइज फॉर्मूला बनाते हैं, एक जनरलाइज मेथड बनाते हैं कि अगर मुझे कोई भी पॉइंट का डिस्टेंस ओरिजिन से निकालना है तो किस तरह से निकाला जाए, इस चीज के लिए हम एक जनरलाइज मेथड सोचते हैं. सो let us say let x comma y be a point. Okay, let x comma y be a point. x comma y कोई एक पॉइंट है, किसी एक पॉइंट की लोकेशन है, किसी के x और y कोऑर्डिनेट्स हैं. नाउ x comma y जो हमने लिखा, सो x is a variable and y is a variable, मतलब depending on the values of this x comma y the location of point will be determined on this plane. अलग अलग जगह पे x y की लोकेशन अलग अलग होगी, अलग अलग वैल्यूज पे x y की लोकेशन अलग अलग होगी. अभी हम ये मानते हैं कि x और y जो दोनों पॉइंट्स हैं दे आर टोटली अननोन. हमें एग्जैक्टली कहाँ इसकी लोकेशन है ये नहीं पता, क्योंकि हमें x और y की एग्जैक्ट वैल्यूज नहीं पता. ओके, जब तक हमें x और y की एग्जैक्ट न्यूमेरिकल वैल्यूज नहीं पता होगी तब तक हम उसे लोकेट नहीं कर पाएंगे. सो व्हाट वी विल गोइंग टू डू, वी विल गोइंग टू अज्यूम द पोजीशन फॉर दिस x, y. It says that x coordinate is x and y coordinate is y. So let us plot this point on, let us locate this point on this graph. Okay, this coordinate plane. It is given that x is equals to this x and y is equals to this y. So let us assume that ये x point कहीं यहाँ पर lie करता है. Okay, x coordinate is what? It is x. So let us say this is the location for this x. Okay, I am talking about only x. So this is the location for this x. So the coordinates of this point will be x, 0. Okay, मैंने क्या माना कि x coordinate कितना है, x है, and x कहाँ पे lie कर रहा है, let us say यहाँ पे. तो इस point के coordinates क्या हो जाएंगे, x, 0. Now फिर हम इस पॉइंट पे एक परपेंडिकुलर ड्रॉ करते हैं. तो परपेंडिकुलर विल बी ड्रॉन समथिंग लाइक दिस. कुछ इस तरह से हमने एक परपेंडिकुलर ड्रॉ करा इस पॉइंट पे. ओके, नाउ जैसा हमने x को अज्यूम करा ऐसा ही हम y को भी अज्यूम करते हैं. लेट अस से कि जो y कोऑर्डिनेट है y इज इक्वल्स टू y, लेट अस से इट इज लोकेटेड एट दिस पॉइंट. ऐसा हम मान लेते हैं that this y is located at this point, so the coordinates for this point will be 0, y. Okay, और similarly यहाँ पर भी एक perpendicular हम draw करेंगे like this, and the meeting point of this perpendiculars will have the coordinates x, y. Okay, now let us say that this x, 0 is a. हम मान लेते हैं कि ये x, 0 कौन सा पॉइंट है, A. ये x, y जो पॉइंट है, लेट अस से दिस इज पॉइंट B, एंड दिस 0, y, लेट अस से दिस इज पॉइंट C. एंड यू विल फाइंड दैट OABC is a rectangle. Why it is a rectangle? This angle is 90 degree. It is given. This angle is 90 degree because this is a perpendicular. This angle is again 90 degree because this is perpendicular. And in a quadrilateral we have three angles 90, so fourth angle has to be 90 because the sum of internal angles of a quadrilateral is equals to 360 degrees. So you will find this angle is also 90 degree. So this is definitely a rectangle. So for this rectangle you will have, for this rectangle let us write this, let OABC is a rectangle, and in this rectangle you will have OC is equals to AB. Okay, OC is equals to AB, and you will have OA is equals to BC. So OA is equals to BC. This is OA and this is BC. Now, what is the length of OC? You can see that the coordinate, the y coordinate for this C point is y. So the length of this line is basically y units. Okay, the length of this line is y units. And what is the length of this OA? You can see that A point lies on x axis and its x coordinate is equals to x only. So the length of this line is equals to x units. Okay, and the length of this line is y units. तो हमने इन सभी लाइंस का वैल्यूज, इन सभी लाइन का लेंथ डिटरमाइन कर लिया. इफ दिस इज y then this is also y, if this is x then this is also x. Now what I need to find, I want to determine the distance between B and O. Okay, what I want to do, I want to determine the distance of this B point from origin. What is the distance of this A point from origin? It is equals to x units. What is the distance of this C point from origin? It is equals to y units. So now we can calculate the distance of this B point from origin. This is the length of OB line, and you can see that triangle OAB is a 90-degree angled or right angled triangle, and it is right angled at this point, right angled at A. So it is at A. Okay, now if this is right angled at A, you can see that OB is basically the hypotenuse, this BA is basically the perpendicular, and this OA is basically the base. So I can say that OB square is equals to OA square plus AB square. Now what is OA? OA is equals to x units. So in place of OA I can write x square, and in place of AB I can write y square. So you can see that this is equals to OB square. So when simplifying, the value of OB will become root of x square plus y square. So this is the length of OB. This is the length of OB, which is equals to root of x square plus root of y square. Now you can take any value of x, it doesn't matter. You can take any value of y, it doesn't matter. The length of that point which has the coordinates x comma y will be equals to root of x square plus y square, the distance of that point from origin. Okay, so this is the generalized way, this is the generalized formula to calculate the distance of any point from origin. Okay, so I will say that, so let us write it here. Formula to calculate distance from origin. Okay, this is a generalized formula to calculate the distance of any point from origin. Whether this point lie in the first quadrant or in second quadrant or in third quadrant or in fourth quadrant, it never matters. उससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा कि ये point first, second, third या fourth में से किस quadrant में lie कर रहा है. What you need to do, you just take the x coordinate, you just take the y coordinate, square them, add them and square root them. So this will be the length of the distance of that point from the origin. Okay, in this way you can calculate the distance of any point from origin. Now let us make it more complex. हम इसे थोड़ा सा और complex करते हैं. Let us say I have 2 points. One is A 2,3 and one is B, let us say -4, -6. Okay, let us say I have 2 points A 2,3 and B -4, -6, and I want to calculate the distance between these 2 points. Previously what we have done, we have calculated the distance of any point with respect to origin or from origin, but now I have changed my task, and my task is now to calculate the distance between these 2 points A and B. So first, to calculate the distance between these 2 points, let us plot these 2 points on the graph paper. So this is our x-axis and y-axis. Okay, so let us say this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. So the same length, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7, and so on. Okay, so this is basically x-axis. This is basically y-axis. Now first of all, let us locate both the points on this coordinate plane. For first point, x is equals to 2, so let us mark the values first. This is 0 or origin. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This is -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, and -7, and so on. So for a point we have x coordinate equal to 2. So we will go to x is equals to 2. This is x is equals to 2, and draw a perpendicular at x is equals to 2. Something like this. And then y coordinate is equals to 3. So we will go to y is equals to 3 and draw a perpendicular like this. So the meeting point, the intersection point of both the perpendiculars will give you A 2, 3. Now second thing, I want to plot, I want to locate this B point. The x coordinate is -4. So I will go to x is equals to -4. This is x is equals to -4, and draw a perpendicular at this point. Similarly, y coordinate is -6. So I will search for y is equals to -6 and draw a perpendicular. Okay, let us make it properly. Okay, and this is y is equals to -6. So we will draw a perpendicular at y is equals to -6 also, and this will be the location of B -4, -6. Okay, so this is A and this is B, and I want to calculate the distance between these 2 points. Now how to calculate the distance between these 2 points? I need to calculate the length of line joining both the points. So to join both the points, let us draw it something like this. Okay, let us assume that this is a straight line, this A, B. Okay, I want to determine the length of this line. How to calculate the length of this line? Now in this triangle, not in this triangle, on this coordinate plane, you can see that it may not be possible that this line, this AB line will always pass from origin. ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है कि ये लाइन ओरिजिन से पास हो. ओके, ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है कि ये ओरिजिन से पास हो. इट्स बिकॉज कोऑर्डिनेट प्लेन पे जब हम लाइंस को ड्रॉ करते हैं, स्ट्रेट लाइंस को ड्रॉ करते हैं, तो आपने लीनियर इक्वेशंस में ये चीज सीखी है. बहुत सारी ऐसी लाइंस भी होती हैं जो कि ओरिजिन से पास नहीं होती. हमने लाइंस की इक्वेशन को समझा था, हमने लाइंस की इक्वेशन के बारे में बात की थी. ओके, सो इट डजंट मैटर कि ये लाइन ओरिजिन से पास हो रही है या नहीं, बिकॉज अगर ओरिजिन से पास हो रही होती तो हम ये फॉर्मूला लगा के कैलकुलेट कर लेते. दिस वन, दोनों पॉइंट्स के बीच का डिस्टेंस, बट यहां पर ऐसा नहीं हो रहा. देन व्हाट वी नीड टू डू, फिर हम क्या कर सकते हैं, देन वी नीड टू अप्लाई सम अनदर मेथड टू कैलकुलेट द डिस्टेंस बिटवीन दीज टू पॉइंट्स. सो प्लीज see it very carefully. What I am going to do is I am going to extend these two perpendiculars. I am going to extend these two perpendiculars. And when I extend these two perpendiculars, when I produce these two perpendiculars, they meet at this point. Now, can I determine the coordinates of this point? Yes, it's very easy. How? You can see that this x is equals to minus 4. If I draw a perpendicular at x is equals to minus 4, then all the points which lie on this perpendicular will have x coordinate as minus 4. Okay, let me repeat it once again. What I am saying is that if I draw a perpendicular at x is equals to minus 4, x is equals to minus 4 पे जो perpendicular होगा, it will be parallel to y axis. Okay, this perpendicular will be parallel to y axis. And what we have understood previously, that x coordinate means distance from y axis. Okay, x coordinate का मतलब होता है distance from y axis. So you can see that distance of this point from this y axis is equals to 4 units. And if I draw a perpendicular at this line will become parallel to this y-axis. And we also know that the distance between two parallel lines will always remain constant. They will never going to meet, these two lines will never going to meet. Hence, the distance between these two lines will always going to be constant. So, I will say that any point which lie on this line will going to have x coordinate as equal to minus 4. You can see that this B point also lie on this line, okay, this perpendicular. So its x coordinate is minus 4. So for this point, when talking about this point, you will find that this point, this one, lie on this perpendicular only. So definitely the x coordinate for this point will be minus 4. So the minus 4 is the x coordinate. Now what about y coordinate? You can see that at y is equals to 3, I have drawn a perpendicular. Now this perpendicular is parallel to x axis, and we have also studied that y coordinate basically means the distance from x axis. X axis से कितना distance है, that will be the y coordinate. And again, two parallel lines, the distance between two parallel lines will remain constant. So any point which lie at this point, at this location, its distance from x axis will remain constant. Okay, any point which lie at this point, this location, will again have the same distance. So what I am going to say is, any point which lie on this perpendicular will going to have y coordinate equals to 3. Okay, so this point lie on this perpendicular as well as on this perpendicular. So from this perpendicular we have determined its x coordinate. Now what about the y coordinate? It will be determined by using this perpendicular. So the y coordinate for this point will become y is equals to 3, that is minus 4 comma 3. Okay, now let us name it as C. Let us say C is the point, this minus 4 comma 3. Now please observe it very carefully. You can see that there is a triangle ABC is formed. You can see यहाँ पर हमें ABC नाम का एक ट्राइंगल दिखाई दे रहा है. This is the triangle, this one, this ABC and this. Okay, this ABC is a triangle, and the most important thing, it is a right angled triangle. It is a right angled triangle at right angle at this C point, Why this angle is 90 degree? Because you can see that this line is parallel to this y axis. This line is parallel to x axis. Now when y and x axis meet, they form an angle of 90 degree because y and x axis are perpendicular. So the lines parallel to them are also perpendicular. So this line is perpendicular to this line because this line is perpendicular to x axis as well as this line. Okay. So this angle has to be 90 degree. So if this angle is 90, I can say that triangle ABC is basically a right angle triangle and right angled at C. Okay, it is right angled at C. Now since this triangle is a right angle triangle, I can clearly write Pythagoras theorem on this triangle. I can see that this AB is basically the hypotenuse, this BC is basically the perpendicular, and this AC is basically the base. So I can write AB square is equals to AC square plus BC square. Now let us calculate the length of this AB using AC and BC. Now let us see what is the length of AC line. This line is AC, this one. You can clearly see that this is basically a rectangle. You can see that this triangle, this figure is basically a rectangle. This one is a rectangle. So the length of this line will be equals to length of this line, and length of this line will be equals to length of this line. Now what is the length of this part? This part, let us name it as this point. The coordinates of this point will become, let us say this is D point and the coordinates are -4, 0. And what about this point? Let us say this is E point, this is 2, 0. The coordinates of these 2 points are -4, 0 and 2, 0. What is the distance between these 2 points? This D point and E point. So the distance between this D and E are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 units. So if distance between D and E is 6 units, then distance between A and C has to be 6 units because AC is equals to DE. Okay, AC and DE are equal. So we have calculated this distance, and this distance is basically equals to 6 units. Now what about BC? How to calculate the length of BC? You can see that for BC, this figure is a rectangle. You can see that for this distance AC, we have seen that AEDC is a rectangle. Let us write this. Is a rectangle, and let us mark this point as F. So what will be the coordinates of this point? This is basically 3. This is 3. The coordinates of F will be 0, 3, and let us say this is G. So coordinates of this point is 0, -6. You know how to determine the coordinate of any point which lie on x-axis or y-axis. So this is -6. Okay, so this is 0, -6. This is 3. So this is 0, 3 because both the points lie on y-axis. Now you can see that FGBC is again a rectangle. If FGBC is a rectangle, you can calculate the length of FG and automatically you will get the length of BC. What is the length of FG? You can see that both the points lie on y-axis, so the length can be calculated very easily. This is 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 unit, then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Okay, so the length of this FG is equals to 9 units. And what else? You can see that FG is basically equals to BC, because this is a rectangle. In rectangle we have opposite sides equal. So these both the sides are equal. So FG is equals to BC. So the length of BC is equals to 9 units. Now we can calculate the length of AB. Now we can very easily calculate the length of AB. AB square is equals to AC. AC is what we have calculated as 6 units. So this is 6 square plus BC. BC is 9 units. So this is 9 square. So 6 square is 36 and 9 square is 81. This is equals to AB square. So AB square or AB square is equals to 36 plus 81. Try to calculate it mentally. 80 plus 30 is 110 and 110, then 6 plus 1 is 7. So 110 plus 7 is 117. So AB will be equals to root of 117 units. Okay, please remember to write units. This is very important. So what I have done, I have basically tried to calculate the distance between 2 points which do not lie on any of the axes. And you can see this task is very lengthy. It's very cumbersome to calculate the distance between these 2 points using this method. यहाँ पे हमें बहुत सारी चीज़ों को ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा. इस पॉइंट के कोऑर्डिनेट्स, इस पॉइंट के कोऑर्डिनेट्स, इसके सभी पॉइंट्स के लगभग कोऑर्डिनेट्स हमें निकालने होंगे टू डिटरमाइन द लेंथ ऑफ दिस AB. So can we apply this method again and again in exam? No, we cannot do this because this is a very lengthy method. So what we will going to do? We will going to derive a formula using this method. इस मेथड से हम एक फॉर्मूला डिराइव करेंगे which will be a generalized formula to calculate the distance between 2 points, and we will going to apply that formula again and again to calculate the distance. Okay, so first इसे नोट कर लीजिए, then we will understand. Now let us derive a generalized formula, a generalized equation to determine the distance between any 2 points which lie on the coordinate plane. So let us try to learn generalized formula to calculate distance between 2 points. Let us assume 2 points. Let A x1 comma y1 is 1 point and B x2 comma y2 is another point. And my task is to determine the distance between these 2 points. What I want to do? I want to determine the distance between these 2 points. Now, since A is x1 comma y1, x1 is a variable, y1 is a variable, x2 is a variable, y2 is a variable. It means I don't know whether these 2 points lie in the first quadrant or in the second or in the third or in the fourth, or maybe that first lie in the first quadrant and B point lie in the second quadrant. I don't know. Okay, what I am going to do, I am going to assume that both the points lie in the first quadrant. Okay, what we are doing, we are trying to determine a generalized formula. It means इससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता कि क्या दोनों पॉइंट्स फर्स्ट क्वाड्रेंट में है, सेकंड में, थर्ड में या फोर्थ में. हम जस्ट ऐसा मान लेंगे कि दोनों पॉइंट फर्स्ट क्वाड्रेंट में है और फर्स्ट क्वाड्रेंट में दोनों पॉइंट्स को रख के एक जनरलाइज फॉर्मूला डिराइव करने की कोशिश करेंगे. एक जनरलाइज फॉर्मूला का ये मतलब होता है कि उस फॉर्मूले को हम कहीं पर भी अप्लाई कर सकते हैं. अभी अगर हम मान लेते हैं कि दोनों पॉइंट्स फर्स्ट क्वाड्रेंट में है, तो अगर ऐसी सिचुएशन आती है जहां पर एक पॉइंट फर्स्ट क्वाड्रेंट में हो, एक पॉइंट थर्ड क्वाड्रेंट में हो, तो वहां पर भी हम इस फॉर्मूले को अप्लाई कर सकें. ओके, दिस इज अवर टास्क, एक ऐसा फॉर्मूला डिराइव करने की हमें कोशिश करनी है. सो व्हाट वी विल गोइंग टू डू, फर्स्ट वी विल गोइंग टू ड्रॉ two axes, x axis and y axis. Okay, let us draw this y axis and x axis a bit larger. So what I am going to do is, I am going to assume that this is the y axis and this is the x axis. Okay, it is not straight. Let us draw it again. Now it is straight. So this is our x axis and this is our y axis. Okay, this is our x axis and this is our y axis. Now let us plot these two, let us locate these 2 points A and B. The x coordinate for A is x1 and y coordinate for A is y1. So to locate A, what I need to do, I need to determine x1. Okay, I need to determine x is equals to x1 point. Let us say x1 lie at this point. Okay, let us say this is x1, and at this point I am going to draw a perpendicular. So let us draw a perpendicular. So this is a perpendicular. Okay, this is a perpendicular. Then second, the y coordinate of A is y1, so I will going to determine the y point. Let us say this is y1 and I am going to draw a perpendicular at this point also. So this will be the line, and the point where both these perpendiculars intersect is the location of A, x1 comma y1. Okay, so this is basically the x1 comma y1. Now let us plot B, let us locate B point. So to locate B point, the x coordinate of B point is x2. I am assuming that x2 is greater than x1 and y2 is greater than y1. Okay, it is just an assumption. ऐसा मैं मान लेता हूं. अगेन इससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा कि x1 बड़ा है या x2 बड़ा है, ये तो जस्ट हमने ऐसा मान लिया बिकॉज हमें x और y को, x1 और x2 को लोकेट करना है. तो x1 बड़ा है या x2 बड़ा है, हमें किसी ना किसी को बड़ा मानना पड़ेगा. ओके, तो इसीलिए मैंने मान लिया कि x2 बड़ा है x1 से और y2 बड़ा है y1 से. सो टू प्लॉट b x2, y2, I need to go to x is equals to x2. So let us say x is equals to x2 lies somewhere here. This is x2. Okay. Now what I am going to do? I am going to draw a perpendicular at this point. Let us say this is a perpendicular. So this is a perpendicular at x2. Now similarly I want to locate y is equals to y2. So let us say y is equals to y2 lies here. This is y2. So this will be the perpendicular at y2 and it will meet this perpendicular, it will intersect with this x2 perpendicular at this point, and this will be the location for point B x2 comma y2. Okay, let us write a point. Let us write a point here. This is a x1 comma y1 and this is b point. Now my task is to determine the length of this line. My task is to determine the length of this line, this one, this AB. Now how I am going to determine the length of this AB line? What I am going to do is I am going to I will try to determine a geometrical figure, and the geometrical figure, the commonly used geometrical figure in coordinate geometry is triangle, a right angled triangle. So I am going to draw a right angled triangle to determine the value of AB. So what I am going to do is I am going to extend this perpendicular. This perpendicular is extended in this direction and this perpendicular in this direction. So I am going to extend both the perpendiculars. Now this point is x1, this point is x2, this point is y1, this point is y2. Let us say this point is C. This point is C. Now what will be the coordinates of this point? What will be the coordinates of C? The coordinates of C will be determined by this perpendicular and this perpendicular. जैसा हमने पहले सीखा था, इस परपेंडिकुलर पे लाई करने वाले सभी पॉइंट्स का x कोऑर्डिनेट कैसा होगा? इस परपेंडिकुलर पे लाई करने वाले सभी पॉइंट्स का x कोऑर्डिनेट होगा x1. क्यों? बिकॉज ये परपेंडिकुलर y एक्सिस के पैरेलल है. इसका मतलब इसका y एक्सिस से जो डिस्टेंस है वो हर जगह पे कांस्टेंट है. अगर मैं किसी पॉइंट को यहाँ पे बनाता हूं तब भी इस पॉइंट की दूरी इस y एक्सिस से x1 रहेगी, और अगर किसी पॉइंट को यहाँ पे बनाता हूं तब भी इस पॉइंट की दूरी इस y एक्सिस से x1 ही मेंटेन रहेगी. सो इस C पॉइंट को देखा जाए तो C पॉइंट लाइज ऑन दिस परपेंडिकुलर एज वेल एज ऑन दिस परपेंडिकुलर. इस परपेंडिकुलर के अकॉर्डिंग C पॉइंट का x कोऑर्डिनेट हो जाएगा x1 और इस परपेंडिकुलर के अकॉर्डिंग C पॉइंट का y कोऑर्डिनेट हो जाएगा y2. ओके, सो द कोऑर्डिनेट्स ऑफ पॉइंट C इज x1, y2. वैसे हमें इसकी जरूरत नहीं है, बट फिर भी हम इनकी वैल्यूज डिटरमाइन करेंगे ताकि अगर दो लाइंस मीट कर रही हैं तो दो परपेंडिकुलर्स के मीटिंग पॉइंट पे कोऑर्डिनेट कैसे डिटरमाइन किया जाता है ये चीज भी हम सीख लें. ओके, सो लेट अस से दिस पॉइंट इज D पॉइंट. नाउ व्हाट विल बी द कोऑर्डिनेट्स ऑफ D पॉइंट? D पॉइंट लाई कर रहा है इस परपेंडिकुलर पे एंड दिस परपेंडिकुलर इज पैरेलल टू y एक्सिस. इट मींस x कोऑर्डिनेट कांस्टेंट है. x कोऑर्डिनेट कितना होगा? x2. और D पॉइंट लाई कर रहा है इस परपेंडिकुलर पे, दिस वन. सो फॉर दिस परपेंडिकुलर द y कोऑर्डिनेट इज y1. सो द कोऑर्डिनेट्स ऑफ पॉइंट D इज x2, y1. So this is the coordinates of point D. Now they are not required. Okay, C और D के जो coordinates हमने निकाले हैं ये required नहीं है, but फिर भी for knowledge हमने इसे भी समझ लिया कि दो perpendiculars intersect करेंगे तो किस तरह से किसी point के coordinates को determine किया जाए. Now our task is to calculate the length of AB. So to calculate the length of AB, I am going to use this triangle. In this triangle, I can see that triangle ADB is a right angled triangle, and it is right angled at point D. It is right angled at point D. This angle is 90 degree. So if this angle is 90 degree, then this AB is the hypotenuse, this is AD and this is BD. This AD is base and this BD is perpendicular. So for this triangle I can write that AB square is equals to AD square plus BD square. Now what is the length of AB? We don't know the length of AB. Can we determine the length of AD? Yes, we can very easily determine the length of AD. How? Because you can see that this is a rectangle. x1 x2 d A, okay, or A x1 x2 d. This A x1 x2 d, this figure is a rectangle. This figure, it's a rectangle. Why? This angle is 90. this angle is 90, this angle is 90 and this angle is 90. So in this rectangle, this length x1 x2 length will be equal to AD length. Now what is the length of x1 x2? This length. The length of this line will be, you can see this point is x2, this point is x2 units away from origin, this point is x1 units away from origin. So the distance between these 2 points will definitely be x2 minus x1. Okay, so the length of AD is equals to x2 minus x1. Now how to calculate the length of BD? इस BD की लेंथ हम कैसे कैलकुलेट करेंगे? You can see that this is a rectangle. This figure is what? It is y1 d b y2. Okay, I am talking about this rectangle. This is again a rectangle. And why it is a rectangle? Because all the angles are 90 degree. Hence, if this is a rectangle, the length of BD will be equals to length of this y2 y1. Okay, the length of y2 y1 is what? You can see that this point is y2 units away from origin and this point is y1 units away from origin. So the distance between these 2 points will be equals to y2 minus y1. So the length of BD is equals to y2 minus y1. So I can substitute these 2 values in this formula. So AB square will be equals to x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. So from this I can get AB is equals to root of x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square, and this is the distance between the point A and B. Now A point can be anywhere on the coordinate plane, B point can also be anywhere on the coordinate plane, it doesn't matter. If I know the coordinates of A and B, I can determine the length, I can determine the distance between these 2 points, the A and B, using this formula, and this formula is known as distance formula. Okay, this formula is known as distance formula. I can use this formula to determine the distance between any 2 points which lie on the coordinate plane. But one thing to remember is you need to use the signs as it is. Okay, this term is important. Use the sign. Signs means the sign that this coordinate carries. Okay, this x coordinate or y coordinate, because here I have assumed that both the points are in first quadrant. If both the points were in third quadrant, then x1 and y1 both will be negative, x2 y2 will be negative. Okay, if A was in second quadrant and B was in first quadrant, then the sign convention will change. So what you need to do, you need to use the sign convention as it is, that is the signs that the particular coordinate carry with it, you need to use that. Okay, you cannot forgive that coordinate, okay, that sign convention of the coordinate. Okay, you cannot forget that sign convention of the coordinate, that is very, very important. Okay, you need to use that value, you need to use that sign. Okay, so this is about the distance formula that we need to use to apply the calculate the distance between any 2 points on the coordinate plane. So let us take an example. Let us say I have one point A, let us say this is -7, 8, let us say one point is -7, 8, and let us say B is another point which is 3, -7. Okay. Let us say that A is a point -7, 8 and B is a point 3, -7. First of all, let us determine in which quadrant A lies. A के लिए x कोऑर्डिनेट कैसा है, नेगेटिव, और y कोऑर्डिनेट कैसा है, पॉजिटिव. तो x कोऑर्डिनेट नेगेटिव, y कोऑर्डिनेट पॉजिटिव, इट मींस दिस पॉइंट लाई इन द सेकेंड क्वाड्रेंट. और B पॉइंट के लिए x कोऑर्डिनेट पॉजिटिव, y कोऑर्डिनेट नेगेटिव, सो डेफिनेटली ये लाई करता है फोर्थ क्वाड्रेंट में. ओके, बट हमें इससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता कि ये दोनों पॉइंट्स किस क्वाड्रेंट में लाई कर रहे हैं. अगर हमें कहा जाता है कि फाइंड डिस्टेंस बिटवीन A and B, then what I am going to do is I will write the distance between A and B is AB, that is the length of line joining A and B. The length of line joining will be equal to AB. So AB will be equals to root of x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. This is the formula that I am going to use. Now, what is x1 and what is x2? This is AB, this is A. So A is -7, 8. It implies x1 का वैल्यू हो जाएगा -7 और x और y1 का वैल्यू हो जाएगा 8. Similarly, for B point is 3, -7. So B point is 3, -7. It means x2 का वैल्यू हो जाएगा 3 और y2 का वैल्यू हो जाएगा -7. So A and B, x1, y1, x2, y2. What you need to do is just substitute all these four values in this identity using their sign. Okay, do not forget their sign. You need to use their sign in this formula. So what I am going to write is that AB is equals to root of x2. What is x2? x2 is 3. 3 and minus x1. So minus x1 is -7 whole square. Okay. Try to observe what I am going to write in this y2 minus y1. First observe this 3 minus of x1, and x1 is what? x1 is -7. So I used to substitute it as -7 only. मैं यहाँ पे 7 नहीं लिख रहा, मैं यहाँ पे -7 लिख रहा हूँ. Okay, now then plus y2. What is y2? y2 is -7 and y1 is this is 8 and the square of this. Okay, y1 is -7, y2 is equal to 8. So as it is, I have substituted this 8. Now further simplifying this, so square root of this is 3 minus of -7. Minus of -7 means +7 and 3 plus 7 is 10. So square of 10 will give you 100. So in place of this I can write 100 plus this is -7 and -5 -8. So -7 -8 will give you 15 and the square of -15 will be 225. So in place of this term I am going to write 225. So it will be 100 plus 225 is root of 325 and this is the length of AB. What is AB? AB is the line joining A and B. So the length of AB is root of 325. So the distance between A and B, distance between A and B is equals to root of 325 units. Okay, don't forget to write units. Okay, the distance between A and B is root of 325 units. So in this manner you need to use this distance formula. We will going to solve multiple questions based on this distance formula. First इसे आप नोट कर लें, इस डेरिवेशन को नोट कर लें और इस लाइन को ना भूलें. Okay, this line is very important. You need to remember this. Okay, so first you note this, then we will continue.